champion Stevenson Titans. Tonight, in round 2 of the playoffs, they face a familiar Mac Red foe as the Cougars of Macomb come to town for a Mac Red matchup. Hello, everyone. I'm Anthony Polidano, along with Macomb strength coach Brian Zachary. Welcome to another Sterling Heights Television Sports presentation of Game of the Week. Two familiar foes in this one. This is a very intense rivalry, but the last few times out, Stevenson's definitely got the better of Macomb Dakota, and it's been a little bit of a lopsided rivalry, especially in the first game this year. What was the difference in that game?
Well, the difference was Ricky Venetilli, pure and simple. Stevenson came out in the second half and they made the adjustments necessary, and they attacked the secondary of Dakota, and the rest was history from there.
Stevenson trailed in that game 13-7 at the half, basically on 3 consecutive plays. Venetilli touchdown, Venetilli bomb touchdown, Venetilli tackled at the 1, and that was the difference in the game. We hope to have a closer game tonight. We talked to both coaches a few moments ago. Here's what they had to say about this Game of the Week matchup. Coach Giannone, big game for you guys. In the past, last few games, had a hard time slowing down that offense, all the weapons. Is that really key for you guys, slowing down the offense, or are you more concerned about just getting your own offense going and getting into a shootout and winning those type of games?
Oh, I'd love to slow their offense down. That would be great. If we could do that, it gets our offense rolling as well. So, the key is you got to slow them down. You got to play good sound defense. You got to wrap up, especially on their quarterback, and they got a lot of weapons, so we got to make sure we do our jobs and do them right.
Certainly accounting for Venetilli at all times on the field an issue this time out.
Oh yeah, he's a super football player. He's got great quickness. Not real big, but I tell you what, he uses his speed and his quickness to his advantage. And we got to know where he is all the time, because they're going to get him the ball. They're good coaching staff, and they will find a way to get him the ball.
You guys were banged up throughout the regular season. This is the healthiest this team has been at this point in the year?
Yeah, I believe so. We have everybody able and ready to play tonight, so it should be a great ball game.
All right, Coach Bai, in the past against Dakota, last 3 times you played them, big plays have gotten you guys over the top. You need more of the same here tonight?
Yeah, we need big plays, but we need to possess the ball too. We need to run the ball, take what they give us. If they're gonna do certain things in the secondary, we got to find out what we can do to effectively run and throw the ball. It's going to be a chess match all night long.
First time you played them this year, you guys definitely got the upper hand. Is that something you try to erase from your guys' minds, that they don't come into this one feeling a little overconfident against a good Dakota team?
Well, I think that with what happened in the first half of that game, made it so that we're not coming into this game overconfident. We know they're a very good team. We were down 13-7 at halftime, and we knew that they have explosive firepower. They can score from anywhere on the field with their speed.
Well, there we heard from both coaches. Now time to hear from the Macomb strength coach. Brian, what are the keys to the game tonight?
Well, I think the keys for Dakota is they're definitely going to pay a lot of attention to Ricky Venetilli tonight. He burned them last time they played. We'll see what kind of coverage packages they come up to adjust to him. And then with that, if they shut down Ricky, who for Stevenson's going to play big? Stiefel can play big. L.J. Robertson can play big. With Dakota, I think they have to come out and get an early lead and get the psyche, get the momentum, and that will carry them through the game.
It could be very well a case of which team's stars shine brighter. You got James Stallings, the Dakota QB, versus Danny Stiefel. L.J. Robertson versus Greg Gay. On the line, John Stipak versus Josh LaRock. A very similar team on paper, and we'll see which team's big-time players come up and play big time tonight.
Right, and you might expect to hear from some people that we don't normally hear from. Like I said, with people being paid more attention to, some of the role players might come out and shine tonight.
Well, it should be a good one. Second round of the playoffs right around the corner. We'll take a break and be back with the opening kickoff in a moment.
High school sports are defined by the thousands of youngsters who are day-to-day student athletes at the high school level. School sports are defined by community, a community of teachers and students. Communities that gather en masse for school events, for games and pep rallies. Communities that still car caravan to games behind the yellow school bus. A community where the crosstown or cross-county rivalry or the league or city championship is still a big deal.
High school sports, it's about
Hey, welcome back, everyone, to our game of the week. Getting ready to start the game here. A couple big-time teams going at it. Stevenson and Dakota as the Titans get ready to run on the field. So their crowd up for this one, and really, Brian, the whole county's up for this game. This is the only show in town in Macomb County. Last year, Macomb County dominated the MHSAA playoff landscape. This year, the Macomb teams haven't fared so well against those Oakland County teams. Romeo, 8-1, went down at the hands of Lake Orion. Clarkston surprised Eisenhower, 38-7. So these are the big two teams left. Stevenson and Dakota, a couple teams that at the beginning of the year, a lot of people felt certainly had the ammunition to make it all the way to the state finals and possibly win a state championship this year. Stevenson's plan has gone according to schedule. For Dakota, a couple of slip-ups. The second game of the season against Stevenson lost to 30-13, and then they lost later to Eisenhower, which is always a real tough game between them and Ike. They lost by 3, 20-17. They beat Warren Cuzno, a good team, in the first round of the playoffs, 35-6. There's Mike Giannoni, 59-45, the career record at Dakota. He's 9-5 career in the playoffs. Stevenson Titans are led by Rick Bai, Coach Bai, in his 31st year. 237 career wins, 77 losses. He's 15th all-time in the MHSAA, and he has 23 playoff wins versus only 14 losses. Our umpires tonight are not mic'd up, so we'll have to eyeball them to get the calls on this one. And both teams out in the field. A packed house here at Runkle Field tonight.
Definitely a packed house, with this being the only game in the county, as you mentioned. You're going to get just football fans here. You're going to get your Stevenson fans, you're going to get your Dakota fans, but you're going to have football fans here. And like you said, good game, big-time teams, big-time game tonight.
Yeah, a lot of those Eisenhower or Chippewa fans that are used to watching their own teams at this point in the playoffs in the second round, now here to watch this one. So all eyes on Stevenson and Dakota here in the second round of the playoffs. A lot of people thought that these two teams would meet up a little further on in the playoffs, as they did last year, meeting up in the semifinals. But here they go in round two. Tommy Klanowski will kick it off for Stevenson. Dakota will receive. David Tuck, who ran back the opening kickoff of the season for Dakota, back there for the Cougars. And he takes it just into the end zone, and we've got a touchback as the Dakota offense takes the field. So we got the starters: Durian Buzdarai, John Stepak, Greg Opath, Patrick Harbour, and Doug Wallace up front for the Cougars. The tight end is Derek Knapp. Marcus Lancaster and David Talk are the wideouts. James Stallings, a 6'5 junior QB, under center. Quentin Trotter and Greg Gay, the talented but oft injured running back for Dakota, in the backfield. And Stallings hands off to, I believe that's Gay, first carry, or excuse me, that's Quentin Trotter, first play of the game, and the fullback gets a good chunk of yardage. And now the Titan defense: Will Baker, Josh LaRock, Aaron Lansuki, and Steve Battaglia up front for Stevenson. Cutskill, Hennigy, Mike Bloom are the linebackers. Mike Walmer, Brandon Kocher, Frank Persicino, and Matt Deletka in the secondary. Deletka filling in for Steve Kohut, who went down in round one of the playoffs with a knee injury. And Stallings back to pass, flips it out to 15, Greg Gay. And Gay's got a first down up around the 35-yard line, gain of 8.
Dakota coming out in the shotgun set here, and you know what? They're letting their playmakers make the plays for them. Get the first run to Trotter, and now just a little hitch pattern out in the flats to Gay. Let him go to work.
Gay had 5 receptions for 69 yards in the first meeting between these two schools this year, so he was a threat out of the backfield to catch it. Stallings from the shotgun again. Hands it off to Trotter, and Trotter met at the line and taken down by a swarm of Titans. Steve Battaglia leading the way.
That was Battaglia leading the way, and he did a great job defeating the blocker, forcing that to bounce outside, and then getting off the block and making the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Called a gain of 1 for Trotter. Titan defense underrated this year. That offense gets all the publicity as it's averaging around 40 points a game, but the defense not too bad. Within about 1.5 seconds of pitching their second shutout of the year last week against Utica. He flips it out to Lancaster, who makes the catch, but that is blown dead before the snap. Probably movement on the offense.
Dakota's definitely keeping it conservative here with the short patterns out into the flats. Easy passes for Stalin to make, and just let those receivers catch the ball, turn it upfield, and run.
Well, Dakota has a very explosive offense, as does Stevenson, as we see L.J. Robertson warming up there on the sideline. But the game plan may be work the short passing game, keep the Stevenson offense off the field as long as possible. In week 1 of the playoffs against Utica, they had the ball 6 times in the first half and came away with 6 touchdowns. 2nd and 15 for the Cougars. Stallings back to pass, flips it out to Trotter, who gets up around the 30, over near the 40-yard line before he's taken down out of bounds.
Just a simple screen pass there. They're coming out in a spread set, so what you have is you have 3 receivers split out. You have 1 guy in the backfield. All they do is they send all the receivers on deep patterns, clear out that secondary, throw a little pass, screen pass into the flats, get some linemen out there leading in front of him, and he's got all kinds of room.
Pretty good blocking up front by the Cougars, and that's going to be big for them in this game. Stallings, very talented quarterback, but not known as a very nimble QB back there. Doesn't quite have a Stiefel mobility, so if Stevenson can get some pressure on him, they could force him into some bad decisions and some turnovers. Stallings now changing the play at the line. 3rd and 6, and we got a flag on the play. Maybe a delay of game.
With Stallings being in the shotgun set, though, what that does is eliminate the pressure because they're shotgun snapping the ball back to him, so he's not going into a drop. He never has his back to the line of scrimmage. He's seeing all the linemen, all the pursuit, seeing the coverages, and just going to work from there.
You can see the official there signaling that there is no flag on the play. Dakota called a timeout before the delay of game penalty was called, so you don't really want to burn a timeout this early in the game, but on 3rd down, Dakota going with the theory that every possession is big, and they don't want to get into a situation where they give the ball that Titan offense.
Right. I think what they got to do is they just got to do a better job of getting the plays into the huddle early, so that offense can break the huddle, get up to the line of scrimmage, and give themselves an adequate amount of time to run the play.
We'll see if Dakota takes any shots downfield and tests the new guy, Matt Deletka, a great receiver for Stevenson, but back in the secondary, taking place of Steve Kohut, who was their interception leader. Heading into last week, Kohut went down with that knee injury on the kick return. So we'll see if they test him. Their deep guy is Marcus Lancaster. He's got speed to burn on the outside. He's lined up on the near side of your television set. There's a draw to Trotter, and Trotter runs over a couple Titans and gets the 1st down for Dakota.
Big time run there by Trotter, just a simple draw play. They actually probably pull the tackle there, kick out the defensive tackle, and which frees the lane up for Trotter, and keep the feet moving on contact. That's the result you get right there.
Yeah, it lowered his head and lowered the boom on Tim Hennigy there, the linebacker, and just ran him over. 1st and 10 Dakota, 8:40 left to go in the opening quarter. Stallings from the shotgun again. This time he gives it to the back, and Trotter again lunges forward for about 2.
And that's what Stevenson's going to have to do tonight. They're going to have to control the line of scrimmage. In a shotgun-style offense with a 1-back set, they have to control the gaps. If you give the running back a crease, he's going to get into the second level, and then he's got a 5-yard gain, 6-yard gain automatically. So you really have to play and control the line of scrimmage to stop this offense.
Trotter, an important part of the Cougar offense, but used primarily as a fullback this year. Has not gotten the bulk of the work in the backfield, but so far he's been the Cougars' go-to man. And there's a big sack coming up as Battaglia and company get to Stallings. Good coverage by the Stevenson secondary, buying time for the defensive line.
Yeah, Stallings really had nowhere to go right there. And like you said, deep patterns, the play didn't develop. He had to tuck it and run, but nowhere to go. You have Battaglia coming off the edge there. Outside contain, forces Stallings to step up in the pocket. Now he gets back underneath, makes the play. Big play right there by Battaglia.
Josh LaRock also in on the sack for Stevenson. LaRock, the great two-way lineman for the Titans, brings up a 3rd and 13 for the Cougars. Stallings back to pass. Looking to the far side, got a man open. It's David Talk who makes a tackle and gets down inside the 25 to the 24. A pickup of 30 yards for Dakota and another first down.
That's just an out pattern right there by Dakota. They see that Stevenson's playing a cover 2 zone. Safety's bailing out into his deep half. You got the cornerback in the flats. He splits the corner, splits the safety, finds the sticks, runs the out pattern for the first down.
Talk, as we said, the guy who had the opening kickoff return for a touchdown in Dakota's opener this year. Nice move to get some yards after the catch on that one. And they snap it directly to Greg Gay, and Gay's got a first down and more on his feet inside the 10, down to the 9.
We've got a late flag here on the play.
A gain of 15 for number 15.
That was the first time we saw Greg Gay in the backfield as well, too. And you can see with his explosiveness, you know, the direct snap right to him, get him around the edge, hook the end, get around the edge. He's got all kinds of speed.
A little trickery there by the Cougar offense. Dakota on the move. They've converted a few big 3rd down conversions. It's been a pretty nice drive so far. They give to Gay, bounces to the outside, makes a move, spins back inside, and gets down to about the 4, gain of 5. Brings up a 2nd and goal for the Cougars.
This is a heck of a drive that Dakota's putting on the Stevenson defense here. You know, really controlling the clock. Only 5:40 left in the first quarter, so they've really used up a lot of time here.
See if Mike Giannoni's crew can punch it in here. It's 2nd and goal for the Cougars. A direct snap to Gay again. Gay going for the corner, and they say he's in for the touchdown. Greg Gay didn't find the end zone the first time these two schools met this year. He does from 4 yards out, and he's got Dakota on the board first as they lead it 6-0, pending the extra point. TJ Gore will kick the extra point for the Cougars. Dakota fans and Dakota's team really wanted this game ever since week 2 of the regular season, and they've shown, at least early on, they're up for it.
You know, and I think they caught Stevenson defense a little off guard, maybe with that shotgun set. Stevenson might be a little unprepared for that. The direct snap plays, the screen passes out to the flats. So we'll see what kind of adjustments Stevenson can make.
That's twice on the drive they did it. As we take a look at the replay, nothing fancy there, just the direct snap, and Gay making it to that corner before Will Baker. And the rest of the Titan defense could track him down.
Right, and they're getting outside. What Stevenson runs is a 4-3 defense, and they have all 3 of their linebackers inside the box. So what that does is if they see Stallings dropping back and a pass look, they're going to stay inside the box with Gay coming off the edge there. He's untouched before he goes 5 yards, 6 yards before he's even touched.
This game has all the potential of a counter-punch game. Stevenson averaging 40 points a game. Dakota has had no less than 5 games this year where they scored 35 points. So certainly a potential for a 40 to 35 kind of game out here at Runkle Field. Although that drive did take quite a bit off the clock. And that's exactly what Dakota and their fans were rooting for. That's what you have to do against Stevenson.
But like I mentioned earlier, that was just a great drive where they picked away at that defense. Like you said, took the time off the clock. Stevenson has that big play potential. We'll see what they can come out and do. See what kind of offensive set they come out with this first series.
Venatelli has it go through his hands as the Titan offense takes the field, led by Ricky Venatelli. 1,000 yards receiving as a wideout. He's out there along with Matt Deletka and Rodney Mershman, the lineman for Stevenson, Chad King, Josh LaRock, Logan Crab, Joe Karpinski, Jordan Harvey, Danny Stiefel under center, Matt Muglia and L.J. Robertson in the backfield for Stevenson. Stiefel, 20 touchdowns, only 4 picks, 62% completions on the season, and he's flushed out of the pocket on first down. And he drops the ball, but then alertly falls back on it and avoids potential early disaster for Stevenson.
And he's holding the ball out there with one hand, so, nothing good comes out of that. I'm sure he'll get a earful from his coaching staff over there. But you can see Stevenson's coming out with an empty backfield, shotgun look, 5 wide, no running backs in the backfield. Obviously, they want to exploit that Dakota secondary right away.
Well, Stiefel certainly has the ability to run. Had a touchdown in the first meeting between these two schools this year, but he's been a little more diplomatic about his running this year, more discretionary. He's only run when he's absolutely had to, maybe saving himself for the playoffs. As there's the handoff to Robertson, and L.J. Robertson goes nowhere as the Dakota defense jumps in there, and we've got the Dakota starters for you. Michael Smith, Brad Puschek, Josh Gorgian, and John Stepak up front. Stepak 4 sacks and a pick return for a touchdown against Sterling Heights this year. Ron Vigneault, Josh Jarvie, Zach Puschek. Linebackers, Deontay Smith, John Schultz, Anthony Militello, and Andy Brueggemann in the secondary for the Cougars, who have got Stevenson in a 3rd and long of their own here to start their first drive.
And both offenses coming out with unconventional looks. This is definitely a mental game. A lot of the coaches, a lot of preparation for this week to prepare for each other in this game.
Cougars coming on the blitz. Stiefel escapes, buys some time, and he looks deep down the field, and it's complete to Rodney Mershman for a first down into Cougar territory, but we got a flag on the play back at around the 29-yard line. It was a late flag. It could be a potential late hit on the QB, or given how much time Stiefel was scrambling down.
I think what they're going to call him for is illegal man downfield, or he might have crossed the line of scrimmage himself before he threw the ball.
That was very close in terms of the crossing the line of scrimmage. Given the time the play took to develop, I thought it was more likely they would have gotten the illegal man downfield. And that's exactly what it is, an eligible man downfield for Stevenson, so that'll back them up a little bit, and they'll replay 3rd down. And Stiefel, great job, though, keeping this play alive. He had early pressure up front from Jarvie.
You can see the difference between him and Solins with his footwork, his ability to get outside the pocket and just create and make plays downfield.
John Stepak forcing him to the outside as well. 3rd and 17 for Stevenson. Dakota with a couple big 3rd down conversions on their first drive. Titans did one, had it called back. See if they can do it again. Stiefel under center this time. Robertson in the backfield. He's in trouble back there. Evades a sack. Trying to buy some time as he gets to the outside and turns it upfield. And he dives to about the 25-yard line. Up closer to the 30. He's going to be short of the first down, though. Great effort by Stiefel. You see how hard it is to bring him down back there. It's frustrating for a D lineman. few guys had chances at him back there.
You can see the difference. They have Stiefel right under center with that defensive line of Dakota creating some havoc there. By the time he gets into his 5-step drop, turns around to look for his receivers, he's got a man right in his face, so he hasn't really been able to be comfortable in the pocket yet.
A rare sight for Stevenson this year. Stiefel back to punt. People forget that he's also the Titan punter. Creates the opportunity for a fake, but they're not going to do that here. In the first quarter, as David Talk returns for the Cougars, as he gets a return of about 3 to about the 41, maybe the 42, and the Cougars will go back on offense already with a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, and we'll see what kind of adjustments that Stevenson defense comes out in here.
Stallings 3 out of 3 on that first drive for 47 yards. David Talk had a big 30-yard reception. That was one of the big plays of the drive. And a few big third down conversions.
Dakota's coming out in the same look with Trotter in the backfield.
Trotter had 4 carries on that first drive as they flip it out to Greg Gay. Gay out on the edge, gets tackled after a gain of about 6.
That's a good job on pursuit by the Stevenson defense, the linebackers in the secondary here. Just a little flip out to the flats. Like I said earlier, they're going to let their athletes go out there and make plays for them.
Gay still only a junior, as is the quarterback, Stallings. A low snap to Stallings. He hands it off to Trotter, who gets to about the line of scrimmage before he's decked by one of the Titans. Bloom came in and delivered the shot, lowering the boom, so to speak.
Right, and that was Josh DeRock there with the big-time pressure up front. Coming from the backside tackle position here. Just gets off his man and gets the big meat hooks on Trotter there.
LaRock, the leader in tackle for loss for Stevenson this year. He's also got 3 sacks on the season. Direct snap to Gay again. Gay gets over the 50, and he's going to be real close to the first down. We'll see where they mark it. It looks like he might be just short, but I think the chain gang is going to come out for this one. And that's a wrinkle that Stevenson didn't see in the first meeting, the direct snap to Gay.
Right, and that's been their most successful play. And what it looks like they're doing is they're just zone blocking. That's where everybody on the offensive line will step to a gap. And the whole offensive line is going the same way. And what they're doing is they're forcing the defense of Stevenson to go with them and over pursue and creating angles for Greg Gay to get upfield.
First down by a nose for the Cougars as they're into Stevenson territory here. 1:27 left to go in the first quarter. And the snap is direct to Gay. Gay back to pass. He's looking to Stallings on the near sideline, and Stallings reels it in. The trickery is working for the Cougars as he's down to about the 26. Gain of 22.
And I know Stevenson wasn't expecting that.
No.
But you know what? I'm really surprised that with a 7-point lead, that Dakota brought something like that out this early.
Yeah, they're emptying the playbook early on here, pulling out all the stops. Stallings, as we said, 6'5", so pretty big target and a pretty nice play there with that over-the-shoulder catch.
Real good job catching that ball.
And the handoff is to Gay that time, and Gay gets little to nothing as Kyle Cutskill pulls him down.
Great job by Cutskill. All he does there is he reads the play, and they're starting to catch on there. Stevenson linebackers are, fills his gap, gets into the backfield for a tackle for loss.
If you would have told me before the game that one of the quarterbacks tonight would have lined up as a wide receiver or tried to catch a pass, my money would have been on Danny Stiefel and not James Stallings, but nice play by Stallings. Stevenson, though, answers, though, with a good play of their own. 2nd and 12 for the Cougars, probably the last play of the first quarter. 14 seconds left as Stallings goes back to pass. Goes to the far side and he throws it out of bounds, so that stops the clock with 8.9 seconds left. First incompletion of the night for Stallings.
Right there you have Josh LaRock applying some pressure up front on the defensive line. He does a real good job getting off his man and hurrying the throw by Stallings.
We're talking about field goal range. It would be about a 45-yard field goal for TJ Gore, but if they don't get it on this one, it's right on the fringe of his range. He missed, I believe, a 50-yarder at the end of the Eisenhower game that fell just short. That would have tied that one and sent it to OT. Stallings back to pass, pumps once, loads up deep, and he overshoots his man as he was trying to go to Greg Gay on the far side. Mike Walmer on the coverage. 4th down, Cougars.
A little double move there by Greg Gay on Walmer. And he froze Walmer there for a second, and Stallings had all kinds of time in the pocket, just a little overthrow there.
And Mark's got a little something for us. What do you got, Mark? Mark Heinbaugh, our sideline reporter, is down on the field. Mark, what do you got? Maybe we'll go to him after this play. Gore attempting the field goal. It is up, and it is just short as TJ Gore can't find the range on the 45-yard field goal, as that's the final play of the first quarter here at Runkle Field. At the end of one, it's the Cougars pulling the early upset. They lead Stevenson 7-0.
Watch me! Watch me! I got it! Watch me! I got it! Hey! I got something that makes me want to shout. I got something that tells me what it's all about. I got soul, and I'm super bad. I got soul, and I'm super bad. Let me hear you. Super bad.
Welcome back, everyone. Started the second quarter here at Runkle Field. Titans trailing 7-0. Sideline reporter Mark Heinbaugh has got a little something for us. Mark, what do you got down there?
Well, I talked to both coaches before this ball game started, and to them, the key to the game was time of possession. In that first quarter, these Stevenson Titans only had the ball for 2 minutes and 33 seconds. Dakota opened up with an 11-play, 80-yard drive that took 6.5 minutes. Right now, Dakota's in charge. Back to you guys upstairs.
Thanks, Mark. Exactly right. Dakota, efficient offensively, gets the points, keeps Stevenson off the field. Stevenson, though, with that stop on the second drive and avoiding the made field goal, which would have put him down 10-0. L.J. Robertson on first down with the 3-yard carries. He was tackled by Jarvie. Stevenson offense still looking for their first down of the game. They pitch it out to Ricky Venatelli, who cuts it upfield. Venatelli stays on his feet, gets up to about the 26.
That's a good job by the defensive end, Stipek from Dakota there. What he does is he doesn't get hooked. They always say, you know, as a defensive end, as a defensive line coach, don't let your ends get hooked. What that allows your running back to do is get outside, and he does a great job stringing that play out to the sideline, forcing the cutback by Venatelli, where the rest of the defense can pursue and make a play for him.
Stipek, for Stevenson fans, to give you a comparison about Josh LaRock, possibly your best starter on both sides of the line, very talented and certainly a D1 player. They flip it out to Venatelli, and it's behind him on third down. It's incomplete.
Stevenson offense looks a little bit out of sync here. What I think they need to do is, you know, they're going to come over here on the sideline, calm these guys down. I know they're all fired up for this game, but what they need to calm down, get into their regular offense, get into a set where they feel comfortable, and let these guys make plays.
Dakota defense putting pressure on Stiefel, and even though they haven't come up with any sacks or anything, they've been able to disrupt that Stevenson offense. And John Schultz on the return for the Cougars as he slips and falls at about the 40. Dakota with good field position yet again for their third drive of the game. Schultz, the junior, had 110 yards and 4 touchdowns in the Cougars opener against Roseville this year. So certainly a talented guy back there.
Yeah, in that last series, that Stevenson defense, they came out in almost like a 42 look. And what they're doing is they're splitting their outside backer. He's outside the tackle box.
And they snap it to Stallings. They give is to Gay, and not much going there for the Cougars.
Great pressure up front. Great pressure by LaRock. You got Lansuki in there really applying some pressure up front, giving the running back nowhere to go.
2nd and 12 for Dakota. The Titan defense may be finding their stride out there. Second drive, really that trick play, which no one could have saw coming. The only big play of the second drive. Stevenson defense starting to assert themselves here on the third drive for the Cougars. Stallings keeps it, goes over to Derek Knapp, and Knapp first down into Stevenson territories. He tackled at the 45, a gain of 15.
Right, and the play action there really froze that secondary from Stevenson. Even with the play action, they like to influence the defense. And what they do, what I mean by influence, is that with the play action, they still pull both the backside guards. So everything looks the same. It looks like run. You can see the guard and the tackle on the backside pulling. So you get the defensive reading that, and they're all going the same way with the tight end coming across the field on the backside.
Some offenses, there's Gay threatening the pass as he's in trouble, makes a great stiff arm, stays on his feet, and gets some positive yardage out of what looked like a negative play, gain of about 2 for Greg Gay.
It's a good job in pursuit by the Stevenson defense there. You can see the stiff arm here on Battaglia, but that slows him down enough just so the Stevenson defense can pursue here and still make the play for a short gain.
Bloom coming in to make the tackle for the Titans. 2nd and 7. They call it a gain of 3. Gay in motion for the Cougars. Stallings back to pass, looking deep over the middle, trying to go to Tuck, and it's picked off there by number 8, Frankie Persicino.
And that's a huge play, huge momentum swing for that defense. The offense of Stevenson really hasn't done anything right now, and so you look for your defense to make a play, and that's what they did. They rose above, and they made the play for the Titans.
Persicino's been a Cougar killer this year. He has 3 interceptions on the season, all of them against Dakota. 2 in the first meeting and 1 here in the second quarter.
Stevenson dropped back into a cover 3D, which that means is you had your corner going man-to-man really with the wide receiver there. Persicino just playing the middle of the field, ends up with the interception.
Stevenson gives to Robertson, and LJ stuffed after a short gain. Dakota, a real nice job of slowing down Robertson in their first meeting, held him to about 64 yards. Say it's a gain of 7. We were wondering if the Dakota offense was going to test Stevenson deep with one of their starting secondary guys out of the lineup. They did, and Stevenson's secondary passed the test.
Right, and they had the right defense called there for a deep ball there.
LJ Robertson breaks through the line, stays on his feet, up across the 20 and tackled at the 21, gain of 14 for Robertson.
LJ showing some good feet there, some really good balance there. He was tackled for about a 3-yard gain, and he was able to keep his feet and turn it into a 8 or 9-yard gain there.
Robertson very quietly this year as opposed to last year, 1,100 yards, over 1,100 yards, and 13 touchdowns. So you see the strength there. Tough to arm tackle him. First down of the game for the Titans. Comes with 7:20 left to go in the second quarter. Stiefel, a little screen set up as they try to go to Battaglia, but not much doing there for him.
Yeah, that's a tight end screen there by Stevenson. And what they're going to do is they're going to send both their running backs out into the flats opposite from the tight end. Show screen one way, come back with the screen the other way to the tight end.
Well read by the Cougars as Josh Jarvie, the leading tackler for Dakota, middle linebacker, comes up and makes the stop. Just a gain of 1 for Stevenson. First completion of the night for Danny Stiefel. Came into the game with over 2,000 yards passing on the season. Stiefel in trouble, a hit as he throws, completes over the middle to Deletka, who gets sandwiched at the 40, but he picks up a first down after a gain of 17.
That's a great play call at Stevenson. Right play at the right time. They've got Venatilli split out wide into the twin set. Delecta as the inside slot receiver, and with all the attention being paid to Venatilli.
Dakota gets good pressure again up front. Stiefel hangs in there. Good job by Deletka to hang out of that ball at the end. First and 10 Titans at their own 40. Stiefel back to pass, throws over the middle to Venatilli, and Venatilli up into Dakota territory as he's tackled at about the 44-yard line.
And Stevenson right here just attacking that zone defense by Dakota. You know, they've got their safeties dropping deep, their linebackers dropping underneath into about an 8 to 10 yard drop. And all the receivers are doing now is they're splitting between those safeties and linebackers, finding the window. And the O-line's doing a great job giving Stiefel time to throw.
Stevenson really attacking the middle of the field. The handoff to Robertson. Robertson right up the gut. First down Stevenson after a pickup of about 11 yards.
And that's a big-time run. You can see the explosiveness right there. A little different from what he was doing earlier in the game. Maybe somebody got on his case, but he exploded right through that hole, and he hit the hole, you know, as fast as you can hit it. And it shows right there. It picks up 8-10 yards there.
Well, L.J. Robertson last year and somewhat this year, kind of known notoriously as a slow starter. One of those guys that needs about 7 or 8 carries to get warmed up before he's at full speed. First and 10 at the 34. Venatilli in motion. And the give is to Muglia, and Matt Muglia takes it forward to about the 32. Gain of about 2 for the Titan fullback. They had 3 touchdowns in the win over Utica, 2 rushing and 1 receiving. He's got 10 touchdowns on the season for Stevenson.
Yeah, Dakota's doing a lot of movement up front with their defensive line and linebackers. They're actually adjusting, pre-snap adjustments before the play to the personnel of Stevenson.
Stiefel back to pass, steps up, fires, and completes it to Deletka for another Stevenson first down.
Again, as you mentioned, they're just attacking the middle of that zone coverage. And Delecta is doing a great job of finding the window, giving Stiefel good timing by quarterback and the wide receiver. 5-step drop, turn and throw it.
These are very quick plays for Stevenson. They're not giving that Dakota D-line a chance to create some havoc back there. These are timing patterns and quick strikes that have been successful for Stevenson on what's been by far their best drive of the game thus far. First and 10 at the Cougar 21. Stiefel back to pass, looking over the middle, and that's through the hands and incomplete as it went through the hands of Deletka.
Almost looked like the same exact play there. You know, see if they can fool them twice, but good job by the Dakota defense.
And what Stevenson may be setting the Cougars up for is the double move. They're
Right.
doing the quick strikes. Those receivers can do kind of a hitch and go and maybe catch the Cougar safeties creeping up a little bit, playing a little tighter on them.
Yeah, what that does too is it forces that safety to respect the middle and will leave a guy like Ventilli with man-to-man coverage on the outside.
Stevenson flips it out to Venitelli as it's incomplete. He alertly jumped on it just in case they said it was a lateral. It was a smart play on his part, but it's incomplete. 3rd and 10.
Just a quick hitch pass and right through Ventilli's hands.
So it brings up a big 3rd and 10 for Stevenson. Big play for the Cougar defense here. They'd like to try and bring on the Titan field goal kicker, Klanowski, who longest field goal on the season is about 26 yards, and Stiefel nearly sacked, and they're going to call him for an intentional grounding, it looks like, as the late flag comes in. He was certainly not out of the pocket, and he was certainly in the grasp. Looked like a good call by the officials. Didn't look like there was anyone in the neighborhood where he threw it. That's the part that Stevenson will try and argue.
And I think what they're discussing here is that his momentum while he was going down is what forced that ball to go into the ground. So you might see him pick it up, or you might see him go with the original call.
And they do pick it up and wave it off. And the thing you have to be careful about is officials, sometimes, well, actually most times, officials try to protect the quarterback. But when you have a guy like Danny Stiefel back there, sometimes it looks like he's going nowhere and going down, and he'll make something out of nothing. Stevenson will call timeout to talk it over. It'd be a 39-yard field goal attempt for Klanowski, who's 3 out of 4 on the season. As we said, the longest field goal, though, only 26 yards. So not sure what kind of range he has, but I guess we'll find out right here.
And you know what? He doesn't look like he's in a hurry over on the sideline. He doesn't have his helmet on or anything. So you know what I think Stevenson will come out with their regular offensive set here and go for it on 4th down. But the thing that's really surprising about this, and Stiefel, the Dakota defense is really getting a lot of pressure on Stiefel. When he drops back into those 5-step drops, as soon as he turns around, he's got defensive ends on him, forcing him to step up into the pocket, into the heart of that Dakota defense.
Yeah, I believe Mark Heinbaugh's down on the sideline and has a little information for us. Mark, what do you got down there?
Ball players on the Stevenson Titan football team that also played on the state championship baseball team. Steve Kohut, Frankie Persicino, Mike Bloom, Ryan Duff, Trey LaRock, Mike Wood, and Dan Colesmith. They also played in the state finals last year on the losing team. And one more thought from personal. Frankie Persicino and Mike Bloom, they helped coach an 11 and 12-year-old baseball team last summer my son played for, as well as played for their own team. Great coaches, great with the kids. Back up to you guys upstairs.
All right, thanks a lot, Mark. Absolutely right. Frank Sr., a good guy, as pass is broken up. The Titans sideline erupts, and they're going to get a pass interference call coming up against the Cougars. Looks like it'll be on Deontay Smith in the secondary.
You know, and I like the call by the Stevenson offense. They put Danny in to the shotgun set to avoid that pressure and let Ricky run in between that cover 2 zone, and that safety. The safety was aware of the route, stepped up and just got there a little too early, causing the pass interference penalty to be called.
Would have been a tough catch for Venitelli if he didn't get a hand on him. Stevenson might have caught a break there, as Smith got a piece of him. Didn't want to give up the touchdown. Tough play. So 1st and 10 for Stevenson. Now at the 11, they can get a 1st down before they get in the end zone. Venitelli in motion. The give is to Muglia, and Matt Muglia into that log jam, the center of the line, for a gain of about 2.
Whenever you see Venitelli go into that motion, there's all kinds of defensive adjustments being made up front by the Dakota front 7. You see tackles switching gaps and linebackers switching sides, so they're definitely paying a lot of attention to him.
As they should, especially given what happened between these two schools in the first meeting this year. Venitelli almost single-handedly beat Dakota in the second half. Those 3 big plays were the difference. Venitelli in motion, and we got penalty flags up front as Stiefel completes it to the official.
You're going to have a false start there on the defense or the offensive line of Stevenson. Delay a game is the signal.
So that'll bring Stevenson back to the 14. 2nd and 13 for them.
And that's really a killer. When you're inside the red zone there, you can't afford to take penalties like that. The only thing I could say that's good is that it was occurred on 2nd down and not a 3rd down situation. So they should be able to get some of that yardage back right here.
Deletka and Venatelli out to the left, Merschman out to the right. Stiefel gives to Robertson. LJ makes a nice move and gets inside the 5, and let's see what the signal is. I think they're gonna say he's just shy of the goal line. Should be enough for the 1st down though, as he picks up 13.
He's really come on here in this 2nd quarter. You can see the explosiveness. He's hitting the hole with aggression, and he's really, really running hard right now, making people miss here. Lowers his shoulder.
Making some nice cuts. Tough to tell there if the knee was down or not. It was close. Looked like the knee was down before he stretched the arm out. So 1st and goal for the Titans.
See what Stevenson does here. So
They
little
give to
dive to
Muglia.
Muglia.
Muglia into the end zone for Stevenson touchdown.
Great job by the Stevenson offense to put that drive together, and it's almost a reversal of roles from the 1st quarter. You saw Dakota control the clock, control the line of scrimmage, drive down, and really control the game and the tempo. And now in the 2nd quarter, you see the drive that Stevenson put together, and they've really swung the momentum in their favor.
10th rushing touchdown of the season for Matt Muglia. He is their short yardage specialist. Klanowski on for the extra point to tie us up at 7 with 2:35 left to go in the 2nd quarter. The kick is up, and it is good. He had one blocked last week against Utica. This one's perfect, and we're all tied up at 7. Punch, counter punch, just like we said. It took a little longer for both teams to score than we thought, but game playing out much like the 1st game between these two schools. The Venatelli fireworks didn't happen until the 2nd half. The Cougars actually led the first meeting between these two teams 13-7 at halftime, and it was a 2-minute drive that gave the Cougars that halftime lead. They're in exactly the same situation right now. John Schultz and David Talk back for Dakota. Mike Walmer looks like he's gonna kick this one off for Stevenson. No, actually it's Klanowski. Walmer just firing up everyone right in front of him. Walmer started out the year as the Titans' extra point kicker. It's a high kick. Takes it at the 5, does Schultz, and Schultz gets a seam, and Schultz out to the 30 before he's taken down by Stevenson. Not bad starting field position for the Cougars.
No, Schultz showing good patience there, letting that wall set up in front of him and finding a seam and getting a few extra yards.
James Stallings and the offense will have 2:28 to work with. Stallings 5 out of 8 so far in the 1st half. 68 yards unofficially. Greg Gay stands beside him. Stallings takes it, flips it out to Gay. And Gay doesn't get much. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage before he's drilled.
That's a good job by the middle linebacker there, Kyle Kutskill, on the pursuit. Recognizes the swing pass out to Gay in the flats, and really does a great job taking a good pursuit angle to get there and force the tackle for no gain.
Danny Stiefel firing up the offense on the sidelines, saying, all right, we got our feet under us. We've got the nerves settled down, and it's only 7-7, so let's go. 2nd and 10 for the Cougars. Low snap, they hand off to Trotter, and Trotter stuffed by Josh LaRock.
Just that whole left side or right side of the Stevenson defensive line there, and Stevenson actually sent their outside linebacker, Tim Hennigy, on a stunt there coming up the gap, and that really disrupted that backfield there too.
Low snap by the Dakota center really took the flow out of that play from the get-go. Dakota didn't really have a chance by the time Stallings bent over to pick it up. Back on 3rd and 12, he's back to pass. He's looking on the far sideline, right at the sticks, making the catch. So I believe that was Lancaster. It is Marcus Lancaster, and he's got a big 3rd down conversion for the Cougars.
That's a great route by Lancaster. A good job of recognizing where the 1st down is, getting there, and making a tough catch on the sidelines. Move the chains for Dakota.
.59 seconds left to go, and Dakota going into a huddle here as the clock is ticking down. They're going to call a timeout. Not very good clock management by Dakota right there. We'll take one too. 48.9 seconds left to go in the first half. We're all tied up at 7. Welcome back, everyone. 48.9 seconds left to go here at Runkle Field. Tied at 7. Dakota trying to get in a field goal position maybe before the end of the half as they hit Lancaster on another little quick shot out there to the outside.
And Dakota's going to be in their little 2-minute. They're going to be in a 2-minute drill set here, and what they're going to do is they're going to run short out routes. You can see Lancaster just on an 8-yard route, and he's trying to get out of bounds. He's successful doing that. That allows them to stop the clock and huddle up for the next play. 42 seconds left now. Dakota at their own 47. Stallings back to pass, plenty of time, looking over to the 40, and he hits Greg Gay, who gets stuck there by Brandon Kotcher, but not before Dakota picks up another 1st down. It's a good stick right there by Brandon Kotcher. Clock's going to run here, so you can see Dakota going with the no-huddle set. 3rd catch of the first half for Gay. 30 seconds left for the Cougars. Stallings going deep this time, got a man wide open over there, and Persicino closes and breaks up the pass. Persicino sitting in his cover 2 zone, getting over the top there, but just can't hold on to the interception. Yeah, Stevenson thankful that Frankie over there to break it up, but Persicino probably thinking he could have caught that one. Lancaster had plenty of space over there. Stevenson kind of let him run free at the line. Mike Giannoni's team has 24 seconds left to go. We saw TJ Gore miss a field goal here in the first half of 47 yards. They might just take a few shots at the end zone here. Back to pass is Stallings. Hit as he throws, going deep to Greg Gay and overthrows him. Brings up 3rd down. And that was a close call right there for Stevenson. Gay looked like he had some room there if he caught the ball. And Steve Battaglia coming off the edge and applying the pressure, forcing Stallings to hurry the throw. Yeah, Battaglia saved that play. If Stallings has another second to hold that one before he unloads it, that might have been a Cougar touchdown. 17.6 seconds left to go in the second quarter. 3rd and 10 at the Titan 40 for the Cougars. Stallings back to pass. Looking over the middle, and it's through everyone's hands and incomplete. He's trying to go to Lancaster over the middle. Yeah, broken up there by Kyle Cutskill, just sitting back as the middle linebacker, dropping to his deep middle zone, and he's able to get in front of the ball there and break it up.
Well, 4th and 10. If you're Dakota, if you go for it here and you don't make it, you give Stevenson a potential Hail Mary opportunity. So whatever you do, you hope to run 11 seconds off the clock. Stallings back to pass. Tucks it under. He's going to run for it. And Stallings gets out of bounds. He's going to be short of the first down. So Stevenson will take over at about their own 36.
Some good pressure up front by the front four of the Stevenson defensive line. You can see they're doing some tackle twist up front and twist in the end and twist in the tackles, creating some movement up front, kind of throw the Dakota offensive line off guard, and they were able to apply pressure and force Stallings to tuck the ball and run. And good job by Kotcher stepping up there and forcing him to step out of bounds.
Well, 3.5 seconds left for Stevenson at their own 35. Let's see what they do. If they try the Hail Mary, maybe get a penalty. Might be just a L.J. Robertson run here, and that's what it is. Robertson makes a little spin move and goes down right at the line of scrimmage. And that is the final play of the first half at Runkle Field. Two MAC Red heavyweights going at it here at Runkle at the end of one half. We're all tied up at 7. Dakota with the early trickery, but Stevenson rebounded with a touchdown of their own in the second quarter. At halftime, we're all knotted up at 7.
Hello, I'm Joe Sturza.
And I'm Dan Rizek. Here's a look at what's making headlines this week in Sterling Heights.
The Sterling Heights City Council has recognized another resident as a nice neighbor. John Zaccardelli was given a certificate of recognition by Councilwoman Maria Schmidt on November 1st for making his neighborhood a better place to live and improving the overall quality of life in Sterling Heights.
The community's annual financial report was presented to City Council last week. Highlights include revenues increasing by 4.2%, expenditures increasing by 5.5%, and the fact that Sterling Heights' excellent financial condition has earned the city higher bond ratings.
The Sterling Heights Cultural Commission has named Robert Golda the November Artist of the Month. Robert is a photographer and captures the beauty of nature in hopes of encouraging others to get out and explore what's in their own backyards. Several of Golda's photos will be on display at City Hall through the end of the month.
For more information on these and other events making news, tune to Sterling Heights Television.
Join us every day at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. for the Sterling Heights News, where we bring you the news that hits home.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang.
Welcome back, everyone. Start of the second half. Not too much action in the first half. Both teams with one good drive and one touchdown, as we're 7-7 at halftime. Stevenson will get the ball first in the second half. Danny Stiefel unofficially 4-8 for 43 yards. At halftime, Matt Muglia has a 1-yard touchdown run. L.J. Robertson is got 7 carries for 43 yards, and Mark Heimbaugh's got a little something for us down on the sideline. Mark, what do you got?
I got a chance to talk to both coaches at halftime. For him, Mike Giamanco, for him, Dakota. There's a couple things he's looking at. Number one, he's asking for his quarterback to have a little bit more patience, stay in the pocket, and read his receivers a little bit better. Second thing, they're going to change their offensive blocking schemes and use the tight end a little bit more. And the last but not least, they've got to cover the middle defensively on that pass. For Stevenson, amazing different philosophy. We didn't do things very well this first half. Let's get back to doing Stevenson, Titan technique, and we're going to win this ball game. Back up to you guys upstairs.
All right, thanks a lot, Mark. Almost didn't cover the middle on the kick return as Matt Deletka takes it up close to the 40-yard line on the return, giving Stevenson pretty good field position here to start the second half. And the handoff is to Robertson. LJ spins, stays on his feet, spins again, and gets up to about the 45. A good tough run by LJ Robertson. People forget he set the Titan record against Dakota last year with 6 rushing touchdowns in their regular season meeting last year in week 2.
Yeah, very hard run there, and he's continuing where he left off in the first half. Really accelerating through the hole and accelerating to the line of scrimmage and picking up good yardage.
For Mike Giannoni's Cougars, James Stallings 8 of 14, 100 yards, an interception and 22 yards receiving. Trotter has 6 carries for 18 yards, and Greg Gay 8 carries, 27 yards, and a score at the half. We got a flag on the play as LJ powers ahead and gets the first down, but let's see what the laundry on the field is.
I think it's going to be a motion penalty on the Stevenson Titans.
And you were exactly right. So the Titans will backtrack a little bit here. They were in a 2nd and 4 situation. Looks like they'll be 2nd and 9.
And what they had there was they had Muglia coming into almost like a shuffle motion. He might have got left a little early to before the ball was snapped, and that's where you got the motion penalty.
Venatelli out to the near side for Rick By's offense. 2nd and 9. Danny Stiefel under center. Muglia and Robertson in the backfield. Stiefel over the middle to Deletka, who makes the catch and is tackled real close to the first down marker. And it looks like he's going to get the spot and the first down.
And the Stevenson offensive line coming out doing a much better job containing that front four of Dakota. And what they do here is basically a flood of the zone. They send Venatelli deep on a streak route. They send Muglia into the flats, and they come across from the backside receiver position with Delecta on a crossing route. Splits the zone defense, and Stiefel finds him.
They're going to come out and measure it. That's Deletka's 3rd reception of the night. He's got 36 yards receiving. I think he's got enough for it. We'll see what the chain crew says here. And it is a first down for Stevenson.
You know, we talked about it earlier with all the attention that's going to be paid to a guy like Venatelli. Some of your number 2 and number 3 receivers, guys like Delecta and guys like Mershman, are going to be able to get opportunities and be open in this game.
The Cougars certainly are not going to let Venatelli beat him a second time this year. They're locked in on LJ Robertson, certainly paying a lot of attention to him, and Stiefel scrambling around in the backfield. As you said, it leaves the wideouts open for some opportunities. LJ in the line spins his way forward for about 2.
Stevenson coming back with that counter play that they ran a couple plays ago, but Dakota front 4, front 7 there, nothing to do with that.
Brings up a 2nd and 8 for Stevenson as they get into Dakota territory. Pretty quick and crisp first half of play out here at Runkle Field.
Right, and it was really a time of possession battle, you know. Dakota controlled the first quarter, and Stevenson was controlling the second quarter.
Stiefel hit and fumbles it. Looks like Stevenson falls on it, and they say that Stevenson ball. Logan Crab, Johnny on the spot with the recovery.
I think it might have been actually King on the recovery.
You're right. Stand corrected. Chad King on the recovery for Stevenson. That's Stiefel's 2nd fumble of the game. This one, though, a result of a hit.
That's a good job by the Dakota secondary, because you can see Stiefel checking to his number 2, number 3 receiver. Nobody was open for him, and allowed that front 4 to get the pressure up front.
Josh Jarvie came and forced the fumble. 3rd and 15 for Stevenson. They go to Deletka, and the pass is low. Would have been well short of a first down had he reeled it in. So the Titans will have to punt and see what Stiefel can do as a punter. He has an opportunity here, even though he wasn't able to move the team down and get a score. As a punter, he can back Dakota up. deep in their own zone. It's a high snap. Stiefel tracks it down and then kicks it straight up. A bad punt. So it goes out of bounds at the Dakota 42. A good field position for the Cougars, and that was bad all around for Stevenson.
Yeah, and they're going to end up marking that at the 48-yard line, I think, and really no difference, almost like going for it on 4th down, because the ball didn't even clear the first down marker. So that puts the Stevenson defense in a tough position, and that was really the snap that forced Stiefel to have to rush that punt.
So Dakota catches a break. They could have been backed up deep in their own zone. Instead, great field position as they start out at their own 48. And that's Quentin Trotter, who was featured heavily on that opening drive, a successful one for Dakota, who gets ahead for about 3.
Battaglia is really doing a good job at the defensive end. We haven't heard from him much on offense at the tight end position, but he's really doing a good job, solid job at the defensive end position right there. Trotter was forced to bounce it outside, and Battaglia does a good job staying home and securing the tackle there.
Battaglia, Titans sack leader, 5 sacks on the season. Only a junior. Greg Gay in motion. Stallings back to pass, looking on the far side of Gay, who drops it as maybe tried to make a move upfield before he had the ball secured. Brings up a 3rd and 7 for Dakota. This was billed as the potential shootout in Macomb County, and defenses both playing pretty well here.
Yeah, besides a couple shaky starts and like we said, each team giving up a long drive, the defenses are really holding tough here, forcing each offense into 3rd and long situations, and really putting pressure on both the Cougar offense, the Stevenson defenses, and the Cougar defense, putting a lot of pressure on the Stevenson offense.
Stallings back to pass, hit as he throws, and it's broken up. Nice play over there by Mike Walmer, who closed at the end of the play and knocked that one down.
Yeah, and you got Lansuki, big guy up front, applying the pressure on Stallings and really forcing the throw, and Walmer does a great job reading that and a great job jumping the ball there and getting in front of it.
Well, Derek Knapp and the Cougar punt squad has an opportunity to do what Stevenson couldn't do. That's pin the opposing offense back deep in their own zone. Knapp gets that one away. It's a low liner. It takes a Cougar bounce, and this is going to roll dead at about the 13-yard line. So Stevenson will start with not so good field position with 7:45 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
And the short low punt there almost worked in Dakota's favor. Venatilli really couldn't get a good return out of that. You had the wingman flying down the field, and he was right there to apply pressure.
I was surprised that against Dakota this year. He was 16 passing in that one, but was able to connect on some big plays. Give is to Robertson, and LJ hit behind the line of scrimmage and stacked up by the Cougar defense. Josh Jarvie and the rest of the Cougar defense makes the play. There's Ron Vigneault.
And they're putting Stevenson now in a 3rd and long situation. You know, we talked about it earlier, putting these offenses into 3rd down situations and what kind of sets they can come out in, and defenses are really playing tough tonight.
3rd and 9 for the Titans. So far it's been 3 and out for both of the offenses thus far in the 3rd. See what Stevenson can do on their 2nd possession. Quick drop, and it throws it at Venatelli's feet. If that would have been a little higher, Ricky might still be running.
Right, they were dropping into his own coverage, and Ricky just runs a quick slant, and like you said, if he had quite a bit of room, and with his speed and agility, you never know what can happen.
Yeah, credit the Cougar defense. They're not really sitting back and letting the offense come to them. They were aggressive, and they forced Stiefel into the quick pass again. Stiefel on the punt this time, a much better punt as it drives David Talk back to his own 43, makes a great move to get up across the 50. He's tackled in Titan territory at the 47. John Schultz lost his head out there on the field.
Yeah, that was a big big hit by number 53, Tim Hennigy, on that helmet jarring play right there. But we'll see what they do on defense now. They're giving Dakota a short field again, so see if Dakota can capitalize with the field position.
Well, Stevenson again calls on their defense to come up big. Dakota looking for some life. They haven't had much offensively since the first quarter. The give is to Trotter, and Trotter cuts it up, stays on his feet, lowers his head, and has his biggest run of the night. It's a 14-yard gain for Quentin Trotter.
Stevenson had quite, a couple guys there to make plays, but they're just not wrapping up. They're not tackling. With a guy who runs as hard as Trotter does, you really got to wrap him up, get some cloth, get some jersey, and make sure you got your fellow defensive guys there to help out.
That was one of his own guys that got blocked into him that nearly knocked him down. He was able to gather himself, keep his feet, head upfield. 6:10 left to go in the third. 1st and 10 at the 33. And they direct snap it to Gay, who fumbled it and falls on it just before Josh LaRock pancakes him. Loss of about 6, and a tough break for the Cougars.
Going with the direct snap again to Gay, and he's just loses the handle there.
That's the second time here in the second half that Gay maybe was looking upfield before he looked the ball into his hands, once on the pass from Stallings. And they're on the direct snap, 2nd and 16 for Dakota. Stallings back to pass, looking over to Talk, and either was behind him or just went right through his hands. So Stallings, I have to maybe see this one again. I don't know if it was behind him or just went right through his hands. It went through his hands as the receivers aren't helping him out too much here in the third quarter.
No, but Dakota's coming with the crossing patterns there.
I don't know if that one might have been tipped at the line.
Might have been tipped. It was a little behind him.
3rd and 16 for Dakota. See if they take a shot deep here. Stallings back to pass, in trouble, and sacked there by number 59, Josh LaRock.
Big time pressure there by the Stevenson front four, and LaRock is just stepping up and making plays right here. Good job by the Stevenson secondary. And you can see Stallings is only looking to one receiver, so that with that happening, if that receiver's not open, then it forces the pressure just coming for the sack.
So Dakota squandering good field position for the second time. Vettitelli on the return, and he runs into Kyle Cutskill. That slows him up enough for the Cougars to get down and bring him down at his own 21. Cutskill saying, hey, Ricky runs everywhere. I don't know where he's going.
Cutskill's actually coming back there to lay a block for Ricky, and with as quick as Ricky is, he gets upfield pretty quick, and credit the tackle to Cutskill.
Stevenson, 1st and 10 at their own 21, 4:38 left to go in the third. We might have to look back at this quarter and see some missed opportunities for some Cougar points. See how large that looms, as there's a good catch by Rodney Mershman as he takes a lick, but picks up about 8 or 9 yards on the pass play.
Yeah, and Stevenson's coming out double slants right there by the Twins. And what they're trying to do there is trying to soften up that Dakota zone and see if they can get those guys bailing out. What a lot of what they did in the first half was find the window between the linebackers and the safeties there, and they're trying to do that again.
That's Andy Bruggeman with the hit. Bruggeman out with an injury in the first meeting between these two schools this year. Bruggeman also the backup QB. There's the give to Robertson, and LJ has got a first down.
Number 11.
Coach Lajeunesse talking to his defense.
On the tackle for the Cougars. First and 10 for the Titans at their own 30.
Tight defense been very good here in the second half. The offense put them, or the punt team really once, and the offense another time put them in a little bit of a tough spot. Defense has answered the call.
Yeah, they're really stepping up to the occasion, and they've got a lot of seniors on that defense. They have a lot of leadership out there, and I think we mentioned it before. Not the biggest guys in the secondary and the linebacker core, but they do have a lot of speed, and they can cover some ground and really pursue well.
Stiefel was going deep over the middle that time to Deletka and overshot him by about 5 yards. Good coverage back there for Dakota. Deontay Smith. Actually, that's Bruggeman there running stride for stride with Deletka, and Deletka got a little bump on him, but not much there to be called. Maybe had him break stride a little bit, but he most likely wouldn't have got to that one anyway. I think a good non-call by the Stripes. 3:20 left to go in the third. 7-7 score. Stevenson 2nd and 10. A little reverse to Venetili. And Venetili cuts back and stays on his feet. He's got a first down and more. Venetili into Cougar territory. Gets to the outside. Still on his feet. Breaking tackles all the way down to the 20-yard line. A pickup of 47 yards for Ricky Venetili.
You know, and it was just a matter of time. I think the Stevenson offensive coaching staff was, discussing it and finding a way. How are we going to get Venetili the ball where he can get in some open space and do what he does best and create plays. And you can see right there, running the reverse. He breaks the tackle. Got great blocking downfield by all the Stevenson. Everybody in blue is downfield blocking for him. And you can see LJ with a great block here to spring him for about another 8 to 10 yards.
Venetili in motion. The handoff flipped out to Robertson, and LJ makes a couple nice cuts, gets stood up and pushed back after a gain of about 4. And the folks at home aren't going to know this, but at halftime, I believe you said they got to maybe try getting it to Ricky on a reverse, and that's exactly what they did. And it worked. 47-yard gain.
Yeah, and like we said, we've been talking about it all game, but they're gonna, concentrate so much on his pass catching ability and his ability to go deep and spread the field that you got to do something creative, a little trickery to get him the ball in some open field and make plays for him.
Stiefel keeps it himself this time. Danny Stiefel up the middle, cuts to the outside, and ball is jarred loose, and Dakota comes up with the fumble recovery in the end zone. Touchback. Huge play by the Cougar defense. They'll have the ball 1st and 20 at their own 20. Stiefel's third fumble of the game, made a couple great moves to get free, just trying to make the extra effort, make something happen. And Dakota just puts a helmet on the ball, take another look at it.
He was all but in the end zone, and then you can just see ball gets jarred loose here.
And it's Deontay Smith, number 5, got his shoulder on the ball. Great look by the crew, number 52. Zach Puschek came up with the recovery. And we got penalties on the play.
And just when you thought Stevenson had all the momentum going for him in the world, the defense comes up and makes a huge play like that.
False start on the offense. Another look at it. Danny just making really his last cut. He stayed on his feet. If that ball doesn't pop out, he probably winds up in the end zone for a touchdown. That ball goes skyrocketing in the air, and push check. Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, and it wasn't, Danny was holding the ball correctly. It wasn't really, it's just an unfortunate thing when the guy comes through making a tackle. He puts a shoulder pad, puts a helmet on the ball, and forces it to come loose.
Stallin's pass is incomplete as Titans showed blitz to his left, threw to his right, and he threw it at Greg Gay's feet. Incomplete. And Mark Heinbaugh has got a report on the sideline for us now with 1:45 left to go in the third. What's going on down there, Mark?
I just listened to the offensive coordinators down here on the bench after that fumble. They said a couple things that really made a lot of sense. Number one, we are moving the ball very well right now, which means we're executing. Number two, we're making the plays. Keep making the plays. You got to believe. And number three, we got them right where we want them. Back up to you guys upstairs.
Stevenson, plenty of confidence as Quentin Trotter takes it confidently across the 25 down to about the 26, a pickup of 11. He'll be short of the first down. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 4 for Dakota.
That was a nice looking play for Dakota there, and they delayed it a little more with allowed those offensive linemen to really open up a seam for Trotter to get through there on the draw play.
So 3rd and 3, they call it. Stiefel getting some encouragement there. Son of his lineman. Still lots of game left. 7-7. 1 minute left to go in the third. Gay in motion. And see if we got flags or a timeout. And we got a timeout on Dakota with 56 seconds left to go. We'll take a break here. Less than a minute left to go in the third. We're all knotted at 7.
High school sports are defined by the thousands of youngsters who are day-to-day student athletes at the high school level. School sports are defined by community, a community of teachers and students. Communities that gather en masse for school events, for games and pep rallies. Communities that still car caravan to games behind the yellow school bus. A community where the cross-town or cross-county rivalry or the league or city championship is still a big deal.
High school sports, it's about.
Welcome back, everyone. 56.5 seconds left to go in the third. Big third down opportunity here for the Cougars. 3rd and 3 at their own 27.
3rd and 3, and you're going to see the corners for Stevenson press here with only 3 yards to go to get the first down to kind of eliminate that.
Well, they go the direct snap, and a great play on the near side by Mike Walmer.
Walmer does a great job, and he's pressing right there, but he recognizes the run, gets off the block, and gets in the backfield to make the play. That's textbook play by the cornerback there, Mike Walmer.
Well, Walmer, as good as they come in terms of tacklers, and Coach Mike Giannone certainly has a lot of respect for the Stevenson secondary, and he especially pointed out Mike Walmer when he was talking to me this week. Well, they ran at him that play, and it didn't work out. Benetilli on the return, takes it at midfield, makes a cut over the 40 and down to the 35-yard line. So the Titan offense will hit the field again in good field position at the Dakota 35 with 11.4 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
And the way the Stevenson offense came out last series with the big play to Benetilli and the momentum going, with the exception of that fumble, you really don't want to give them the short field here.
Dakota really needs another big play like they had on the last drive. For Stevenson, you just got to keep that ball rolling downhill. They've yet to lead in the game. Benetelli in motion, out to Robertson. LJ trying to get to the outside, stays on his feet, and he'll wind up losing a couple. Great effort by LJ Robertson, but it's going to yield a loss of about 1 or 2. And that's the final play of the third quarter here at Runkle Field. At the end of 3, Stevenson and Dakota all knotted up at 7. Titans were on their way in for 7 more, but this big play by Dakota keeps it all tied up at the end of 3.
SHTV Sports, in your face action.
Cameraman down there.
In our face too.
Took one for the team.
Hey, welcome back, everyone, to our Game of the Week. Anthony Polidano along with Brian Zacharies. We start quarter number 4, and a little housekeeping to get to before we get into the fourth quarter. The broadcast of today's game is a copyrighted presentation of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and Sterling Heights Television. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution of the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without express written consent of the MHSAA and Sterling Heights TV. Stevenson with a 2nd and 13 as Coach Mike Giannone looks on and needing his defense to step up big. And they do as they hit Stiefel from behind, and it's incomplete. It's Stepek, the senior, coming up and making the big play.
Yeah, Stepek's having a heck of a game on that last play. He did a great job stringing that play out to the sideline with LJ running the ball, and this time he's just great pass rush right off the edge there. Apply the pressure on Danny Stiefel.
Brings up a 3rd and 13.
Right here you got Mershman and Venatilli split out to the short side of the field.
And LJ Robertson in the backfield all by himself. And Stiefel drops back, and it's hit as he throws it. It's knocked down by Vigneault. That was a play again by the Dakota D-line as someone got a hand on it as Stiefel was letting it go.
Yeah, Stiefel was going deep there to Venatilli. He ran a post and up route there, and just a great job again by the front 7 of the Dakota defense there to apply the pressure on Stiefel.
Stiefel back to punt. Another opportunity to pin the Cougars back deep in their own zone. Line of scrimmage is the Dakota 38. Stiefel hits it up in the air. Return chance for Schultz. Schultz makes a move, trying to get to the far side, and he's just tripped up over there by Matt Muglia on punt coverage, and Muglia makes a big play. Schultz almost got to the outside, and that could have gone all the way.
Yeah, that was a big play there by Muglia with most of the Stevenson punt coverage behind him.
Well, nice cuts early on, and then does a little more east-west than north-south. Muglia, a great ankle tackle. Dakota, 1st and 10 at their own 20. Trotter in motion. The give is to Gay with Trotter out leading the way. Gay's got a 1st down as he gets up across the 30 to the 32.
Just a big counter play there. They bring Trotter in motion as a lead blocker, and they pull the backside guard and tackle, so just outnumbering the defensive line of Stevenson on the left side there.
This game might very well come down to field position here in the 4th. If Dakota can't get a score, they at least want to get out of their own side of the field and get near midfield and try and pin Stevenson back. The give is to Gay again, who lowers his shoulder and gets across the 35 to the 37, gain of 4.
Dakota electing to go with the same play again there. This time the Stevenson defense was prepared for it.
And you saw the play calling of Dakota early on in this game, going with the trickery, going with the sleight of hand plays, and going near the back of the playbook with the 7-7 game here in the 4th. They're very bread and butter offense here, back to basics. Nothing too fancy, don't want to make a mistake, and give the ball over to Stevenson. And Stallings hit as he throws, and caught by Lancaster, makes a great play. Block on Walmer. Lancaster's going to go all the way in for the score, and the Cougars have taken the lead on a 63-yard connection from Stallings to Marcus Lancaster.
That's great execution by the Dakota offense. The front five of the offensive line giving Stallings plenty of time to throw, and Lancaster exploiting that zone coverage by the Stevenson defense and just making a couple moves and using his speed to get himself into the end zone.
And Gore on for the extra point. $10:17 left to go in the fourth quarter. Extra point is up, and it is good. So Dakota goes back ahead by 7 here early in the fourth quarter on a great play from Stallings to Lancaster. Stallings just got this ball off, and then Lancaster, not only a great job to reel this one in, but a great run after the catch. Makes a spin move to get by Persicino, and then the block on Walmer is what got him the rest of the way. He just beats Doletka in a foot race to the end zone. Huge play by Marcus Lancaster and the Dakota offense.
Yeah, but it doesn't come at a better time. You know, fourth quarter, 7-7 ball game really swings the momentum to their side.
So we'll see how Stevenson responds. They had all the momentum, but the Titans sideline suddenly very quiet. And Mark's got an observation on the sideline. Mark, what do you got down there?
Well, a couple issues. Number one, that's the longest play from scrimmage against the Stevenson defense the whole season. And number two, with Mike Giannone again, this is exactly the position he wanted to be in. He wanted to be up in the game in the fourth quarter, feeling his defense was all enough to secure the victory. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Mark. As I said, the Dakota right where they want to be. Defense, if nothing else, has certainly done a much better job against Stevenson than it has in its previous outings against the Titans as of late. Gave up 49 and 42 points last year to Stevenson. This year to Stevenson gave up 30 points. So 7 points through a little more than 3 quarters. An excellent job by the Dakota D.
And now you're going to see Venatelli in the backfield, so they're going to try to get him the ball.
Stiefel flips it out to Venatelli. Venatelli with a first down, and he's taken down, but not before he picks up 12 on the run.
Just a simple option play, and now you got your two most explosive guys in the backfield. You got L.J. Robertson playing the fullback position, and you got Venatelli there at the tailback position.
I know he's had some fumble problems tonight, but I think this is where you start seeing Danny Stiefel try to make plays with his feet also. If it's not there for the pass, he's going to tuck it under and run. There is no tomorrow if you lose tonight. Still a lot of time left, though, in this one for this explosive offense to get back into this one. They're only down by a score. He buys time with his feet, going out to the near side to Rodney Merschman, who makes a diving catch at midfield, 17 yards, and a Titan first down.
Hey, great job by Merschman there, running the deep out pattern. And Stiefel, good job setting his feet right here and finding Merschman. Throws the ball at a perfect time right on the break of the receiver's pattern there. And Merschman selling out and making a play for the Titans.
Second catch of the night for Merschman. 26 yards receiving for him. Stevenson up the midfield. 9:24 left to go in the fourth. Robertson, the lone setback. Stiefel flips it out to Doletka. It's behind him, and that might be a live ball if anyone could get over to it. Dakota picks it up. John Schultz with the ball. Schultz makes a cut, and Schultz in to the end zone for the touchdown. Lightning striking the Titans twice here at Runkle Field as Dakota makes a big play offensively. Then the defense makes an alert play as Schultz picks it up and goes 43 yards in for the score on the fumble recovery.
Yeah, the Dakota defense, they're just aware of the situation, and you've got all the guys in blue jerseys there stopping, thinking the play's dead, and the Dakota defense there picks it up, runs it in for a long touchdown there. Good job by the Dakota defense.
Well, you saw Venetili on a play similar to that in the first half, quickly and alertly jump on the ball. Extra point up and good. At that time, Stevenson not getting on the ball quite as quickly, although Deletka was backpedaling a little bit, and the ball wasn't sitting at his feet.
Right, and that's the first time they've thrown that pattern to Deletka. Previously, they had thrown it to Venetili, and maybe with the pass going in Deletka, he might have not have been aware of it being a backwards pass, and alertly, like you said, the Dakota defense is there to pick it up for the big play.
What an effort by John Schultz, the junior. Alertly picking it up and then making the lunge there at the end. And now Stevenson is down 2 scores. Maybe still in a little bit of shock. They got to regroup in a hurry to get back into this one. And Stiefel trying to keep everyone calm on the sideline. You don't want to try and, you can't give 14 points back on one play.
Right, and they have played, with 9 minutes left in the game, getting the ball back here, they have an opportunity to really, they got to get a score and put themselves in a position to come back again.
And if you're Dakota, you have to wonder, do you keep playing the defense that you played the whole game, or do you start to change things a little bit here and maybe the bend but don't break defense? They've got some decisions to make on their sideline. Kick is to Deletka. Deletka across the 10, out to the 20. Gets to the outside and taken down there by Josh Jarvie. The middle linebacker coming up with a big play on special teams. Stevenson will take over at their own 20.
I think Deletka on that play might have got a little bit of an injury. Maybe he's cramping up there. I see him on the sideline there. Looks like he's grabbing his calf.
Could be an ankle, as we've got a timeout on the field. We've got the ankle twisted there as Jarvie came across him, ankle tackle him. 8:57 left to go. The winner of this game goes on to play the winner of the Clarkston-Lake Orion game, which we understand was a tight ball game as this one was at the half. And we're going to take a break here. 8:57 left to go in the fourth quarter. It's the Cougars pulling the upset. They lead Stevenson 21-7.
Watch me! Watch me! I got it! Watch me! I got it! Hey! I got something that makes me want to shout. I got something that tells me what it's all about. I got soul, and I'm super bad. I got soul, and I'm super bad. Let me hear you. Super bad.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:57 left to go in the fourth quarter. Matt Deletka walks off under his own power. Brian, you and I were talking. Stevenson in a little uncharted territory, coming at the wrong time. First time all year they've been down more than one score.
Right. And they're a well-prepared football team. Let's see what they can do to come back and make the plays necessary to get back in this ball game. There's plenty of time left with 9 minutes left on the clock.
Well, they don't abandon L.J. Robertson, who takes it forward for a gain of about 6. L.J. has had some nice runs tonight, 3 runs of 10 yards or more. 2nd and 3 for Stevenson, as the Titans work quickly. Give is to LJ again. LJ up the middle, makes a nice move, cuts and spins, and out to the 40, a first down. stop the clock to move the chains as Robertson picks up 11.
I know we talked about this prior. If Dakota was going to come out and sit into like almost like a prevent and sit back and try to let the Stevenson offense force them into third down situations, but you can see with the soft rush up front by Dakota that L.J. Robertson's really running hard through this Dakota defensive line right now.
Stiefel back to pass, going in over the middle. It's tipped and incomplete. Stiefel just 7 of 18 on the night at this point, and Dakota to this point has done a great job of limiting the Titan big play. Really, the only big play they've had was the reverse to Venatilli, the 47-yard gain, which went for naught after Stevenson fumbled it later in the drive.
Yeah, and Dakota's doing a good job now. We talked about there's not too hard of a rush up front, but they're doing a good job now when Stevenson does go to pass into that zone defense and really taking away the passing lanes of Stevenson.
Stiefel over to the near side, and he throws it behind his man. It's incomplete. So he was going to number 84, Chris McCoy. Only 2 catches on the year for McCoy. Third and 10 for the Titans at their own 40. .51 left to go in the fourth quarter. Stiefel back to pass, looking over the middle again, and he was trying to go to Deletko. Couldn't quite get any air underneath him that time to reel that one in. So good to see him back on the field if you're a Stevenson fan. But throw had him a little bit turned around there, and Stevenson, instead of going for it on 4th and 10 here with 7:46, they're electing to punt.
Right, and I think they're going to play with the field position here. You don't want to give this Dakota offense the ball on a short field, so they're going to punt here, let their defense do some work. With the exception of the big play, the Stevenson defense really has played well tonight, and see what they can do.
Very good punt by Stiefel. The return by Schultz goes for about 8 yards, but there's a flag on the play. Probably in the area of holding. Didn't look like anyone got a face mask or anything on Schultz on the return.
Yeah, you'll see either a holding call or maybe a illegal block in the back.
Stevenson has all 3 timeouts still, so something to keep in mind. And we got a block in the back on the Cougars. Dakota has 2 timeouts. And you might see a very vanilla Dakota offense here, back in their own zone. You don't want to make any mistakes. Pick up a first down and move the chains. Great. If not, punt it away and play some more defense.
Right, you'll see a lot of runs to Greg Gay and Trotter. And, you know, those are 2 guys that, regardless of the situation, when you hand them the ball, they can pick up some yardage for you. So Stevenson defense really has to be prepared here and come out and play aggressive.
Well, at least tonight, Trotter has proven to be the more sure-handed of the 2 backs. We'll see if he gets the bulk of the work here, does the fullback. He's got 9 carries on the evening. Stevenson playing up tight.
Dakota comes out in the power I set and just runs a blast play to the left side, or right side of the Stevenson defense. And like you mentioned, just hand the ball off and try to take some time off of that clock.
This is where they're going to let Buzdarai and Stepek and Opath and Harbor and Wallace do the work up front and try and win a game for them with some first downs. Gain of 5 on first down for them. Coach Lajeunesse' defense needs to come up with a stop here. It's Josh Jarvie in motion, and as a blocker, the give is to Gay, and Gay stays on his feet, lowers his head, and he's going to be real close to a first down.
And good job by Gay breaking some tackles there. He was wrapped up for a loss in the backfield, kept his feet going, and was able to break that tackle and pick up the first down yardage.
Now, this would be a shocker in the second time in 2 years if this score holds up that one of the UCS teams enters the playoffs #1 in the state and exits in round 2. Both times would be at the hands of Dakota. They knocked off Eisenhower last year, built a huge lead on Ike, and won in a kind of a breeze. This game has unfolded much differently, but there's another first down for Gay.
Yeah, and this game really boils down to about 4 or 5 plays that made the difference. It was a very evenly matched game, but you can see what, with the big play, big reception by Lancaster, and the awareness of that Dakota defense to pick up the backwards pass there and run it in for a touchdown. That's really what's made the difference in this fourth quarter.
Jarvie in motion. And the give is to Gay. Not much doing on second down as Mike Bloom tackles him. And we certainly don't want to pull the plug on this game yet. Stranger things have happened. 5.5 minutes left to go in the fourth. Stevenson still has a chance, but the light is dimming at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
And now Mark's got a little something down for us on the field as Dakota goes for it. What do you got, Mark?
In any big ball game, there's 2 factors that usually play into it. Number 1, turnovers. Dakota has capitalized on Stevenson turnovers. The second factor is your line. Who's winning the line of scrimmage? With this lead 21-7, you can see Dakota's offensive line starting to win that battle. Back up to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Absolutely right. The turnover game has been huge. Stevenson a little uncharacteristic in some of their fumbles and such tonight. Dakota opportunistic.
Right, and then right there you talk about turnovers, and that goes with mental mistakes. Right there, Stevenson had Dakota in a 3rd and 5 situation, jump off sides, and gives Dakota a free first down. That really can't happen in close ball games like this when you're down 14 in the fourth quarter.
And a good hard run by Gay as he picks up about 9 on first down. Really another key to the game in terms of the line of scrimmage in reference to Mark Heinbaugh's comments. John Stepek and the Dakota Cougar defensive line, the pressure they were able to get on Stiefel, enough to disrupt them and get some hands on some balls and really come up with some big plays. So there's a give to Gay. He's got a first down and more. He's out to the 46, a gain of 6.
Right, and he might have been, and some of the balls he threw were behind his receivers. Just when you get pressure on a quarterback, there's a level of discomfort that's there, and he might be rushing his throws and things like that. So, like he said, when you control the line of scrimmage and you really, the big boys are banging up front, that's what makes a difference in the game most of the times.
1st and 10 for the Cougars. The give is to Gay again. It's a Greg Gay sponsored drive here as he gets across the 50 into Titan territory. Pickup of 6.
And that big Dakota offensive line and Greg Gay just chipping away at the Stevenson defense. Really controlling the clock now. I'll be surprised to see when Stevenson starts dipping into those 3 timeouts that they have and trying to get the clock to stop here.
2nd and 5 for the Cougars. They just keep running to the left, running to the left. They do it again. Gay up close to another first down. That left side of the line is Boozderai and Stepek. And they just keep running behind Stepek, and they'll let him block them to potential victory here.
3rd and short here situation for Dakota. But I don't see anything changing from the norm, what they've been doing this whole drive.
And the handoff is to the up man that time. I believe that's Quentin Trotter gets the first down. So they put a little wrinkle into it. Another 4 yards for Trotter. Balance of the Dakota team so far tonight. Stallings has thrown 19 times. Gay has run 19 times. Trotter's run 10.
Definitely a very balanced attack, and right here, really just a great job controlling the ball and eating up that clock.
And they give us to Gay again. And Gay keeps its feet moving and gets forward for about 4. Give Dakota some credit. This is a game they had wanted. This is a game that they had talked about. And, you know, we talked about it last week. Be careful what you wish for. You get the Stevenson offense rolling out 40 points a game as you see the fans starting to roll out here at Runkle Field. But Dakota got what they wanted. They've been up to the challenge. They played very well. They lost the momentum for much of the second half, but never lost the lead. Came up with plays when they had to do it, and it looks like they're going to come away with the win here.
Right, and the big plays really, like you said, we said all broadcast was the turnovers, and the turnovers really hurt you, and Dakota just capitalizing off turnovers and really put themselves in great situations. Being able to go up 2 touchdowns late in the 4th quarter, that's always going to put pressure on the opposing team, and they were unable. Stevenson was unable to capitalize.
It's been a great year and a memorable year for the Stevenson Titan team. Seniors going to probably go out with a bitter taste in their mouths here tonight, but certainly played a great season and gave Titan fans a lot to cheer about. I know they tend to judge success by a different standard here at Stevenson and how deep you go into the playoffs. And, you know, a lot of people judge things that way, but you know, take nothing away from the year that a lot of these Titans have had. 10-0, #1 in the state, and blew out everyone in front of them along the way up until this buzzsaw, which is the Cougars that they've run into here in the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I give a lot of credit to that Dakota coaching staff this week. How they prepared for Stevenson. They did a great job, and their players really showed what they were able to accomplish tonight.
Now, word on the street is that Lake Orion is up pretty big on Clarkston in the second half of that one, as they seem to have broken loose, and it'd be a Dragons-Cougar matchup in the next round. Certainly a good one. Both have had good programs. Neither one have really gotten over the hump as of late. So the winner of that one's going to have a great opportunity to make it to Ford Field this year as the MHSAA State Finals move from the Silverdome down to the Lions' new home down there in Detroit. 3rd and 6 for Dakota. Yeah, now or never for the Stevenson Titan defense. They absolutely have to come up with a stop here. Give this to Gay, gets to the outside. Greg Gay might go all the way. 37 yards and a touchdown for Gay. It's an exclamation point on a great 4th quarter for the Cougar football team.
And great awareness by Gay. With the Stevenson, have 8-9 people in the box. He does a good job, sees the holes outside and bounces it outside, and uses his speed to get to the end zone.
Gay, the nephew of Source sports writer Kevin Lozon and Uncle Kevin. Maybe a little smile. I know Kevin's as truly as neutral as they come and does a great job covering all of our sports in the area, but his nephew came up with a big play there and has really had a great 4th quarter here at Runkle Field as they tack on the extra point. 2nd touchdown of the game for Gay. Another look at it. You know, Stevenson really just had to stuff it at the line of scrimmage, and it's kind of the old John Riggins 4th and 1. Once you get by the initial wave, you're probably going to score. Deletka tried to get him right as he went in the end zone, but not enough. And congratulations and hats off to Mike Giannoni and his staff. One of the real nice guys in the area coaching. Well respected, a very personable guy.
Yeah, and he's done a great job putting together a great supporting cast on his staff. Greg Bauer came over from Chippewa Valley to run the defense, and obviously you can see where his coaching came in play tonight. He did a great job calling and preparing his defense for the explosive Stevenson offense. So, like you said, great job by the whole staff of Dakota, and just a great job executing by their players, and the motivation and those guys wearing the white tonight were fired up and come out with a great win.
Touchback into the end zone for Stevenson. So they'll start at their own 20, 1:55 left to go here in the fourth of what was once a 7-7 ball game as we entered the fourth quarter, which right now for Titan fans feels like a long time ago.
Right, and Stevenson coming out, and they just got to find any way they can right now to put points up on the board, strike quick, and get that onside kick team on the field and try to get the ball back again.
Stiefel back to pass, looking over the middle to Venatelli, and he drops it. Passes behind him a little bit as rain is starting to fall here at Runkle Field. Second and 10 for Stevenson. As the rain is falling on the Titans' state championship hopes here. It is Merschman makes the reception as a little water falls on Coach Giannoni on the far sideline as his team douses him with the Gatorade as if he wasn't getting wet enough from the rain falling on the field.
See if Stevenson can come with the deep ball here.
And Stiefel, nothing doing. So he's taken down.
Again, Stepek just coming off the edge there, and his motor's still running, and coming off hard and making the big sack.
In terms of players of the game, I think at this point, co-players of the game, Stepek led the defensive line. And really Marcus Lancaster, he had the two plays that really changed this game around. He had the hit, I believe, on Stiefel, the fumble. He certainly had the long touchdown reception that gave Dakota that lead in the fourth as L.J. Robertson gets forward for a gain of 8. And time to do a little credits here on Game of the Week. Director, GOTW, is Matt Phillips. Actually, our executive producer, getting ahead of myself, is Pat Lehman. It's produced by myself and Matt Phillips. Matt also our director for tonight's Game of the Week. Our camera crew for tonight's game, Bob Surgott, Dan Rizik, Jason Burnt, and Nick Mott. Mike Crimmins on replay. Matt Phillips on post-production and graphics. 28-7 our score is Dakota. Impressive here in the fourth quarter. Have surged ahead. Anthony Polidano along with Brian Zachary. Mark Heinbaugh patrolling the sidelines in this one. The give is to Robertson. And LJ gets over midfield, and LJ Robertson stays on his feet, still on his feet, all the way down inside the 20, down to about the 16. Goes as a gain of 45, but it's pretty much academic at this point as there's 22 seconds left. The LJ's had a great career at Stevenson, over 2,000 yards last year, over 1,000 yards this year. A lot of these guys, Robertson, Muglia, Stiefel, LaRock. This is not the last football game they've played. Venatelli, as he makes a cut there, stays on his feet, gets inside the 5, down to about the 4. Great effort by Venatelli. All those guys will be playing next year, and Venatelli's hurt. And absolutely what you did not want to see at this point in the game for Stevenson. You don't want to see anyone get hurt and have any kind of a career and jeopardizing injuries or anything of that nature.
Let's hope it's just something like a cramp and not like a knee injury.
Venatelli down over 1,000 yards receiving this year, averaged at 22 yards of reception. He's got 11 touchdowns through the air, rushing. He's got around 350 yards and another 5 touchdowns on the ground. And nothing but happiness on the Dakota sideline. Coach Giannone doing a good job, getting his 10th career playoff win. Kind of a up-and-coming program up there in Macomb.
Right, and they've done a great job building that program to where it's come in just a short time. And they're definitely going to be a force to reckon with throughout the years to come.
And Stevenson taking a timeout. Venatelli in obvious pain there. Ricky, great season for Stevenson. Certainly probably an all-county guy. Stevenson going to take a timeout. 8.4 seconds left. Just going for one last score, basically. And his Titan offense wanting to get up there and run the play, the officials saying, no, you called timeout, take your timeout. The Titan fans getting up and applauding the seniors. Joe Karpinski and other seniors done a great job. Logan Crayob coming over from St. Clement, transfer. Josh LaRock, he's had a great career. Rodney Mershman as a wideout, had a good year for Stevenson. A lot of talent on this Titan team. I know they wanted to go all the way this year, but not going to happen. Not in the cards. A lot of these guys, though, play a lot of other sports. They'll get other chances their senior year, but it won't be on the football field. Stiefel keeps it himself. He's going to throw to the end zone, and a catch is made by Muglia for a touchdown with 1.1 seconds left to go. That's a 21st touchdown on the year by Danny Stiefel. Only 4 interceptions. And Dakota is going to have to field a kickoff return here before this one comes to an end. 28-13. This is kind of like last week's game. The game was, for all intents and purposes, done. And
right.
Utica just not giving up. Kept trying out there and got a score. Stevenson also with 1 second left gets a score. Klenowski on for the extra point. It's up and good.
You know, these kids never want to leave the field, and the guys on Stevenson know that, especially the seniors, this is the last game they're going to be playing as far as for Stevenson, and you just want to end it. You still continue to play till that last buzzer, no matter what the score, no matter if the outcome's already decided. You know, that's just kids being, kids playing football, and it's really actually, a classy thing. Those kids don't want to quit, and they don't want to step off this field a loser. But like we mentioned earlier, Dakota just well prepared and come out and did a great job.
And Rick Bai still planning on coaching for quite a while, as far as I know. And I know a lot of people in the football circles are rooting for both him and Bob Lancey to get a state title. Both of them have been there. They've been close. They've been knocking on the door. It just hasn't meant to be. But I know a lot of folks would like to see them get one. The only time I think they root against those guys is when they're on the other side of the sideline. Aside from that, good guys. They run good programs.
Right, and just the way, you know, like you said, their programs are run, they'll continue to have good teams, and they'll come out, you know, year after year, and they'll be able to produce.
Dakota storms the field as they pull off the upset here at Runkle as they shock the #1 team in the state, 28-14. Mike Giannone comes and congratulates his crew and the Titan coaching staff. Our co-players of the game, John Stepek and Marcus Lancaster, both big performances leading the Cougars to victory. Brian, thanks a lot for helping us out here week after week here in the regular season and the postseason. And if folks would like to join the Macomb Strength, you're the guy to get in contact to. MacomBStrength.com, I believe, is the website.
Right, that's the website. And like we talked about before, these guys that you know, want to continue to play football, they're more than welcome to. And that's what the opportunity I try to give guys, local guys. We have guys from all over the county. We have guys from Detroit Public Schools that come out and play with us. So we're really trying to just continue letting guys play tackle football and playing a game they love to play.
Well, we're going to take a break and be back with our co-players of the game. Mike Giannone's team gets the victory. We'll be back in a moment.
High school sports are defined by the thousands of youngsters who are day-to-day student athletes at the high school level. School sports are defined by community, a community of teachers and students. Communities that gather en masse for school events, for games and pep rallies. Communities that still car caravan to games behind the yellow school bus. A community where the crosstown or cross-county rivalry or the league or city championship is still a big deal.
High school sports, it's about.
All right, here now with our co-players of the game, Marcus Lancaster, John Stepek. John, first of all, a big effort for your guys' defense coming out and putting a lot of pressure on Stiefel. Was that the game plan from the beginning?
Oh, absolutely. Stiefel right here was the best quarterback in the state of Michigan, you know. That's basically what we worked on all week. We had no other idea besides containing Danny. I got to tell you, man, I love the guy. I respect him more than any other player. And, you know, he gave it to us, and I got to tell you, man, I couldn't have played with a better quarterback than Danny.
Now, you probably shocked the county, if not the state. Did you guys believe the whole time that this was possible?
Oh, absolutely. You know, like the last game, we had them contained the entire first half, and, you know, we just had a few mistakes on, and they countered with big plays. But, you know, we were able to counter with everything we got, and we were able to make this a great game. Outstanding game. I couldn't have asked for a better offensive line, better fans, better defensive line. This is the most outstanding team I've ever been with. I couldn't thank anyone else for it.
All right, congratulations on the win. We go over to Marcus Lancaster here. Marcus, you had maybe the play that broke this one open. Talk about that big touchdown you had.
Oh, we just caught the defense off guard. We talked about switching me to the other side, bringing me across, and got the touchdown, made a big move, and got in touchdown. Good pass protection by the O-line. I got to give credit to them.
All right, well, congratulations on the win, and go celebrate with your fans. Dakota beats Stevenson, knocking off the #1 team in the state, 28-14. For Brian Zachary and Mark Heinbaum, I'm Anthony Polidano. Thanks for watching this week's Game of the Week. We'll see you next time.